Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chaos 120. I'm your host tonight. I'm the Veteran Mountain Man, and we've got all these fine people with me. We've got the next 6 minutes.
Good evening.
Of course, the lovely Terrasen. And we've got Scooby331 with us tonight.
Hey.
And I guess you're all wondering about the title because the CBO, you know, that's not something that normally gets talked about on here. But I figured we should definitely talk about the CBO tonight because the Congressional Budget Office made some really interesting announcements.
I was sleeping until 7. I gotta be up.
Okay. I can't wait to hear this.
So, an analysis of the CBO documents for the month of April show a total government collection of $515 billion for the month of April.
Damn.
That's quite a chunk of change there.
The differential between the amount collected and the amount spent is $218 billion.
In the black or in the red?
In the black. In the black. This passes the best ever month the federal government has ever had, which was $40 billion back in 2001.
It wasn't.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, to be fair, April tends to be a very big month for the internal, for the IRS and government revenue collection.
Okay, hold on just a moment. I can't even pull up the YouTube.
You can't?
Nope. And I even went from your link.
Well, I've got it running.
Yeah, it's got it running.
Yeah, it's running for me just fine.
I'm on it right now.
And it's not pulling up for me, and I was watching other YouTube videos. Sorry, go ahead. It must just be me.
Well, so this shows that, first of all, there was some money shifting going on. Now, there was a lot of money brought back into the U.S. when the tax breaks were announced and the reduction of the federal tax rate. And for the past 6 months, we've all seen the Democrat propaganda. Oh my God, the tax cuts were crumbs. The rich are just getting richer off it. Nobody's really benefiting from it. And the government's going further and further into debt. And yet we had a record month. And not just a little record month, but a huge record month.
I believe there's an old saying about pudding and proof, and somewhere one of the things is inside the other. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
The proof is not in the pudding; it's in the eating.
There you go. There you go.
The proof is not in the pudding; it's in the eating, and here we sit at the table.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
But we are saying
I'm literally quoting Morgan Freeman verbatim.
Yep. And we are sitting here right now eating the pudding because we obviously had a really good month in April. We have record consumer confidence. We have started fixing some of the trade imbalances with China. We've got North Korea talking denuclearization. Iran afraid of itself because the U.S. just slapped sanctions back on. How much more proof do we need? Obviously, we're headed in the right direction here. And I mean, I'm not going to support endless violence or wars, but sometimes you got to be a little tough with those people who don't want to listen.
Right.
I don't know, but there seems to be another saying, another phrase. I can't think of it. Off the top of my head, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It escapes me right now. I've been hearing it a lot, though, the past year or two. I've been hearing this phrase, this saying. What is it? You know, I can't remember.
Is it related
It's-
to like an acronym of some sort?
Yes, yes. It's very pertinent to the conversation at hand.
You mean Make America Great Again?
That's it. Yes, thank you. I completely
There you
slipped
go.
my mind. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so this once again, though, just kind of proves that Hayek style economics actually supersedes Keynesian theory. Because for the 8 years under President Obama, and even most of President Bush Jr. and President Clinton, we were using Keynesian style economics. And Keynes basically states that the more money you pump into the economy, the more the economy will go. You know, that the government's whole job is to kind of prime the economy and just keep shoving money into it. And it'll go. It'll be good. Hayek, on the other hand, basically states that you've got to just back off, take your hands off, and the economy will run itself. Well, we've been seeing a more Hayek-style policy for economic management. I mean, we've seen a huge reduction in regulations. I mean, they've been cutting pages of regulations every day under the Trump administration. Not lines, pages.
Yeah.
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 Thank God.
Tax cuts to relieve the tax burden, and now we're having record revenue.
Yeah.
You know?
It also reminds me of this. I can't remember. I can't quote verbatim, of course, but there was this, you know, prior to the 2008 elections, there was this interview of Ron Paul talking about the healthcare industry, and that well, it really needs to be more of an industry. It needs to be governed in much the same way that the technology industry has for the last 20 years.
More of a hands-off approach with clear, concise pricing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Shoot, to be fair, there's a clinic here in Oregon. All they do is MRIs. If you walk into that clinic with a doctor's prescription to have an MRI done, it is about $297 to have that MRI done as your copay, even without insurance. Because all they do is MRIs. That's all they do. They don't do anything else. Now, if I was to go down the street to St. Vinny's, it's going to cost me $600 to have that same MRI done.
Damn.
Why? Why should I pay $600 at St. Vinny's when I can pay under $300? But unless you know you're going to spend the $600 at St. Vinny's because you don't even know what the price is when they prescribe it. All you know is they're telling you got to go get an MRI.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like the people at St. Vinny's. I mean, they're my preferred hospital. They're the ones I go to if I'm not going to the VA. But
a little more straightforward approach would be much appreciated.
oh yeah, yeah. You know, just upfront pricing would do wonders for the medical industry. That and take away the artificial cap on medical personnel. The AMA and the ANA, the American Physicians Association and the American Nursing Association, have hard cap limits on how many schools can have medical training programs for nurses and doctors.
Interesting.
And how many students can be in those programs at a time. And so,
You know,
it's almost like they don't really want medical personnel. That's funny because I've been looking for a job for the better part of the last 6 weeks, fairly actively. And one of the things that I have noticed is that when I go onto job search sites like Monster, 9 out of every 10 job that is being advertised, being offered, being posted is for some kind of nursing or other medical field job.
Medical professional, yeah.
Yeah, medical profession. I find that very, very interesting, given the demand for nurses.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't
Hi,
know what
Mr.
that
B.
is?
Hey, Burnside, how you doing?
This, you know, if this were like 30 years ago, like not quite 30 years ago, but 20-something years ago, if this was 20-something years ago, and if I had known that so many jobs were being offered for nursing positions, I might have considered going to nursing school.
Oh,
yeah.
Someone's got to handle Grandpa's pee, and somebody's got to make sure Tyrone Jenkins' insurance can go through for getting a cat busted in his testicles.
Yep.
You want to know what that's from? Why there's such an upswing in all these nursing jobs? Are any of you aware of all the different side effects that all these different drugs that these schmuck baby boomers ingested over the past 40, 50 years, what the side effects are of them?
Oh, shit.
The drugs with
yes.
with
Scoob,
all the drugs with the commercials with the 50 side effects that they kind of brush past at the end of the commercials. Yes,
guys, I've got a physician's desk reference from 2013 upstairs. My wife actually works in the medical field.
Mm-hmm. So you guys know what I'm talking about, and this is why there's such an upswing. Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. It's also, do you know what moderate heroin use does to a person? Not even serious addiction. Just moderate random use.
Oh yeah.
Fucking trashes your body. Even if you're not addicted, it does horrible things to your body. Cocaine, heroin, the PCP, the pot, all of it.
Oh yeah.
All of it. They've been doing it for decades. And once again, not even if they were addicted. We're not talking about heavy addict level usage. Just casual usage. It's just horribly destructive.
Yeah. When I was researching the probiotics thing one of the things that I found out is that people who take a lot of these medications, prescription medications for this, that, and the other, they have a tendency to destroy a lot of the healthy gut bacteria. Now, this healthy gut bacteria is instrumental in properly digesting food and distributing vitamins and minerals throughout the body, which is, of course, responsible for maintaining proper function of the body. So, one of the things about chlorella and like spirulina and various other things to take along with taking probiotic, healthy flora, gut bacteria kind of stuff, is that what it does is that it mitigates the amount of toxins that build up in the body as a result of taking these medications. And of course, these baby boomers have been taking this medication sometimes, and in some cases, as much as 40+ years.
I'll do it to it.
Oh yeah.
See, me personally, I use reefer myself because I don't want to take any opiates or any of these other things they would prescribe someone like me because of how severe my ADHD and OCPD is. Because I've been on everything. They've had me on Ritalin, they've had me on Buspirone, they've had me on Wellbutrin, you name it, they've given it to me. And only thing I trust is reefer. But
yeah, CPS had me on a whole bunch of weird shit when I was younger too.
Yeah, doesn't work.
I took this medication called Silert. It's essentially diet amphetamines.
Oh man,
I remember that shit.
Make me feel weird, guys. I was the only one not on that crap. I got lucky.
Silert was rough.
I just remember it.
Silert was rough on me, and it took me a lot of years to recover from taking that shit. And there was permanent damage.
Yeah.
I won't sugarcoat that. There was some permanent damage to my.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm glad that I avoided all that crap because.
Yeah.
And then
Hey,
there's
well,
also the antibiotics that they were giving babies in the early 80s that fucked them up, like me.
Yeah.
I ended up with pre-rotten teeth because it pretty much fucked up all the bones in my body.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and what a lot of those really strong antibiotics do is they kill off healthy gut flora, which, like I said, is responsible for processing food and helping to distribute those vitamins and minerals, which are key to proper bodily function. But they don't tell you
something?
that.
Yeah. One of the reasons that I don't look as old as I am is because I'm actually it's related to my ADHD. I'm allergic to so much junk food and fast food that I can't eat it. So
that's good, man.
Yeah.
My mother
That's
kind of
one of
had
the
the same
reasons I
thing with diabetes, so we stayed away from a lot of goofy foods in the States.
That's one of the reasons most modern people who look 40 look like they look like shit. But you look at people like me and 6, we don't look our age.
Well,
seriously.
Shit, Scoob, on Sunday I got told I looked 24, man.
Well, you do.
Damn,
That's because
dude.
you have that friggin' chia pet sleeping under your nose at all times.
man, when I shave this thing off, I look younger.
Yeah.
Chia
Yeah.
pet, that's a good one. You know,
I grew the damn beard.
Those things are actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I had to grow the beard so that people didn't think my resume was a lie.
You got a young face, is what it is.
I've got like 20 years of experience on my freaking resume, and people were looking at me and they're like, there's no way you're this old. And I had to show them my license to prove it.
Yeah,
you look like you're about as young as Burnside.
Well, I'll tell you this. Anytime that I buy any sort of alcohol, I don't wear a hat because I have to kind of let the clerk see a little bit of the salt and pepper in the hair to to tip them off. Hey, you might not want to go ahead and card me, but they sometimes they do anyway. But it's been a while. I'll give them credit.
Well, 6, I just got carded the last time I went into the liquor store because I was buying a $200 bottle of absinthe.
Ooh.
Oh, absinthe. Oh, I missed that shit.
And I'm like, we got to see your ID. I looked at them and I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah, we have to. And I'm like, okay. And I looked at my ID and they're like, I'm younger than you are. I'm like, thank you. Give me that back.
Yeah,
now ring the bottle up.
It has been a while since I've checked out, and the cashier was not younger than me. It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, trust me, I feel you on that.
Obviously, you have not been to a Walmart because they always have at least one cashier that is standing there at her register asleep, older than fucking dirt.
The Methuselah-aged cashier.
Yes. Yes.
I can't shop in stores like that. Just, you know what it is? Those cashiers, the ones that are around my age, it's just, you look at some of them, and I'm not trying to like.
It's depressing, man. It is.
Yeah, I'm not trying to stereotype all the cashiers that work at these places, but some of them, you just want to give them a hug. Seriously, like you just like, oh man, it's okay. Come here, look, no, it's okay, man. It'll be all right. Seriously, you look at them and like, my God, you poor soul.
I look at some of them and I'm like, seriously, what are you doing here? What? I know a place that's hiring. Let's go get you a real job.
Right? It's just like they have the look of defeat on their face. Oh man.
And they're the ones preaching the communist propaganda on the weekends.
Yeah, tell me about it. That's why I'm moving myself, man. I'm tired of all that fucking shit.
When I lived in the projects, I went into the store with makeup on, and they're like, no, you can't buy cigarettes and alcohol. And I'm like, why not? I come in here all the time. They're like, no, you don't. This is the first time I've seen you. So I hand them my ID. They're like, oh my God, that's fucking you? Like, yeah. They're like, you look 16. I'm like, thank you. I'm 31. Can I have my alcohol and cigarettes now?
Oh boy. So what happened to Gab? I'm trying to log on to Gab and it's giving me this error 502. What the hell's that?
I don't know, man. I'm having no problems. I'm actually. Oh no! Mine just went down.
Yeah.
DDoS protection from Cloudflare.
I see.
They must be hopping servers.
Either that or they're having a denial of service attack thrown on them.
Ooh,
Yeah,
DDoS.
Yeah, it's a purge.
Yeah, man, it was working just fine earlier. I mean, I've been on it all day. I've been posting off and on.
Communists decided they're going to strike back against Gab for not being progressive.
Oh my God, whose dog is getting into everything?
I'm sorry about that, guys. That's actually my dog. Hang on.
I called it on the dog.
Yeah, I thought he fell down the stairs for a minute.
That's what happens when you're
I was about to say, Scooby, what did you do to poor Patches?
Where is Patches? He's in here somewhere. I just was looking at him. Smelly boy.
Yeah, she was having a spaz attack. She was running down the hall, back down the hall, jumping on the couch, jumping back and forth, back down the hall.
Wow.
Goofy dog.
That's the joys. Go ahead.
Had to burn off some emergency energy there.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of having a Malamute. They behave like cats in that fashion.
Yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, the cats, they'll get up and they'll just tear around the house for like 15 minutes and then they'll stop and they'll be fine. Yeah. Malamutes do that too.
Oh man, while I was gone, my cat fucking attacked my legs.
Ouch.
Because we were down at the river. And my aunt and uncle, they have their travel trailer, and then I have the old trailer. So I have literally a place all to myself. So I had found this cat toy that was my aunt's cat's toy. And I set it up because it's, you know, stick, string cat toy attached to it. So I set it up so that she would just attack that and not pounce on me all fucking night, deciding to play, let's play attack whatever's under the covers game.
Oh, I love that shit. It's funny as shit when cats do that.
Man, no, it fucking isn't, especially when it's at, you know, fucking 5 a.m. and all you hear is, meow, pounce, meow, pounce, meow, 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 pounce, 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 claw.
You know, as you were doing that, my cats were looking at me.
Extra thick socks.
There you go.
Oh, no. She kept getting kicked into the cast iron bed.
I don't think I've ever fished fresh water before.
Really?
Well, where we're at, it's not freshwater. It's brackish.
Okay, I fished
because
brackish.
where our river place is, it's the gateway to the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
that's really cool.
I have caught everything there is to catch, freshwater and saltwater, in this canal. I've caught redfish. I've caught American eel. I've caught catfish, of course. Then there's channel cat, which is completely different from regular cat.
So, Tara, you might say you've been efficient.
Yeah. But of course, what you catch also depends on the bait.
Yeah.
Like when I use shrimp, I catch more yellowtail and redfish. When I use squid, I catch more catfish. I use livers, of course, I catch catfish and mostly crab. And I can catch a shitload of blue crab all I want. Thinking about doing a little crabbing business down here.
You really want to do that? I could teach you. I did it for my entire first 29 years of my life. That's what I did.
So, guys, it is confirmed. It is confirmed. Gab just posted about 4 minutes ago that they are under a massive DDoS attack. They're working on getting it resolved. But it's on Twitter that they had to post it because Gab is completely down.
Yeah.
Not a motherfucker.
I guess the SJWs are attacking.
Yep. The SJWs are attacking.
Who
Well,
figured they knew how to actually do that shit?
I'm about to write this tweet.
It's all push button. It's all push button now.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's push to talk.
Yes, fuckery abounding.
Yeah.
Tara, you
Hey,
want me to
prostate,
teach you a
yes.
little? Teach you a little trick on how to how to do some crab fishing. I did it my entire life. Do you like fried chicken?
No. But I don't
Okay,
mind using it for bait, and I know they fucking love it.
All you have to use is the skin. You don't have to waste the chicken. Just use the skin,
Yep.
or use the bones afterwards, and just put that into the compartment, and they go nuts. They love chicken.
Oh, I know they do. They also like freshly gutted, freshly pieces of fresh fish that was just filleted and everything. Because my uncle fillets all the fish I catch.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
love that
you can use the waste parts for that too, but specifically the reason I'm saying to use the chicken, the oil from the chicken, it makes a chum slick in the water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it draws them
I've
in.
been using that one for years, actually.
Mhm.
That's one of the reasons I use chicken gizzards for freshwater cat for up further north from where Tara is. We used to use chicken gizzards in the Tennessee and Cumberland rivers.
Oh, nice.
But what I have my uncle do is he drains the livers, then he salts them, and then he puts them in the fridge or freezer until they're almost rotten, and then they're the perfect solidity and odor that I don't have to have cheesecloth to put it on the fucking hook.
See, we always went to the Dollar General and bought women's pantyhose, and we just take a ball of that pantyhose, stick it in there, and run the hook through the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I get tired of cutting that shit off my hook or having to get a new hook because I like having my hooks.
So as for catfish bait, here's an interesting one you may not know about. Probably have never tried. You take a handful of Wheaties cereal and you pour a bit of Big Red soda into your hand, and you crush it up until you get this kind of like a paste. Then you throw that on the hook.
We have something similar to that, yeah.
Yeah, that's a modification of the dough ball. We used to use heels of bread.
Mm-hmm.
You wrap it up real tight and squeeze it until it started to gel together in the heat, and then you run it through the hook.
Yeah.
You know, if I may, just one thing. I've never really freshwater fished, like I said, because the closest we get to freshwater here is like brackish. I mean, it's fresh, but I wouldn't recommend drinking it because of the salt and saline content. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we do, the carp that we get here, we get a lot of grass carp, and we get a lot of silver. We don't get what is it? Is it the white are the ones that leap, or is it the silver that leap?
The silvers that leap.
Okay, so we get the big heads. We get the white ones up here. We get those. We get a lot of the grass. And I tell people all the time, because, everyone uses the trick with corn. And I tell people, you can throw corn, but the trick I remember from Boy Scouts was what we would do is you get the cheese, not cheese doodles. You get the cheese balls.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And you throw the cheese balls, and the reason you use them is because if it's just a slight breeze, it drags them across the surface of the water, and the fish go nuts.
Yep.
Excellent.
Another one that I used to use for some of the surface strikers in Tennessee is I'd use these plastic squid.
Oh yeah.
And you take your hook and you run the hook through almost like it's a fly, and you have the body of the squid near the head of near the eyelet on the hook, and so the tendrils on the squid would hide the barb.
Yep.
And you just you drag that through the water, and every time.
My Uncle Ed used to take you know, those plastic white worms
Yeah.
that you can buy. He used to take those and cut off just a little tiny piece and put that on the hook, and he'd wait to get that little nibble, snatch the line, there's the mullet, pull it off, do it again.
Yep.
And I watched an old man down there because there's a store that you can pay $7 and you can fish behind their store for exactly 24 hours. Of course, you know, that area closes at a certain time, but if you keep your ticket, yeah. I stood there and watched him not too long ago just fishing for mullet. He had several of these little lines on hooks on his line, and have those little white worms on there, toss them in, and he catch like 2 or 3 at a time.
Yep.
And gang in the chat, we're not talking about haircuts. We're talking about a fish that's actually called a mullet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually pretty damn tasty.
They can.
You guys ever see what you ever watch when I say Irishman, I mean like right off the boat. You ever see how an Irishman fishes? Where they don't
Farts
use
in
a
the
pole?
water and all the fish die?
No. They actually use they don't use a pole. They use a thick line with a large hook, and they just line fish. They stand there with the line, leading it with their hands. Yeah.
Yeah, my
I-
uncle does something similar.
I caught my first fish that way.
Yep. I've done some bank line fishing.
I have too. I've actually done the Tom Sawyer way. When I was younger, I had some decent line. I tied it to my toe, put it in the water, and I laid back on the dock and, you know, dozed in the sun until I felt a tug and yanked the fish in. It was a catfish, and it nearly took off my toe, so I never did it again.
I was gonna say, you didn't lose a toe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an old trick to enhance, I guess, the if you're getting like small strikes, is that you hold the line between 2 fingers and kind of like crimp it just ever so.
Yeah.
Well,
that
the way
reminds
we
me, I
used
need
to
to
do it
send
when
a-
I was
Text my aunt telling her to send me pictures of the fillets.
when I was in Scouts, what I used to do is I would just loop it through the pants, like loop for the belt. I would just like loop it through the belt loop, and I'd loop it through the belt loop, and then I just, I'd post up under a tree, and eventually I'd feel something tugging on my belt, and that would be a fish.
Yep. This weekend when I was teaching my friend's kid to fish, we were using spinner reels, and so I showed him how to spin cast. And then I told him, keep the line directly against your index finger while you got it in the water. Because if you do that, even after you got it locked back in nice and snug and you're holding on to it, you'll feel that line shake as something tries to strike on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I only do that if I'm out in the Gulf and I'm fishing for like yellowtail and stuff like that. When I'm fishing for catfish, I cast my line, lock it into place, set it down in my fish pole holder, sit down, play a video game. Like last night, as you guys know, I was trying to get onto the stream, but spotty ass reception. I text people if I have reception. Or read a book. I finally finished one of my books I was working on. But for I caught the night before 3 catfish within like half an hour.
Well, see, the problem is, Tara, up here where I'm at, we've got trout, we've got bass, we've got sturgeon, we've got salmon in the freshwater stuff. We even have some eel and lamprey, but we don't have any catfish. So you're actively having to fish with what we have out here.
Yeah.
You can't just sit and let the pole go. I mean, I see people do it, but they never seem to get anything from it.
Kitty cat.
Actually, that was my aunt texting me back.
Oh. Well, now I feel silly.
See, me personally,
her ringtone is the Meow Mix commercial song.
likes cats, does she?
Yeah, she's gonna have to put her cat down soon. Her cat's in renal failure, and we're not going to do fluids for this cat. We did fluids for the last 3 cats. So what we're gonna do for, well, actually the very first cat, he got insulin. The last 2 cats got fluids. So she's most likely gonna end up with rescue. I'm not gonna do that to her. She's bonded well with rescue. Rescue listens to her. I'm not gonna, try and take her away.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of shit from people about me wanting to try and train rescue and prove to people that she can be trained as a service animal. And because they say cats can't be trained that way. Well, they said the same thing about fucking dogs before, but look what happened there.
Well, most people don't actually try to train their cats. That's
yes,
why
baby brother.
That's why the stereotype of the untrainability is perpetuated, because most people just don't even try.
Yeah, it's because cats are so independent. Well, if you do it right, they're still independent, but you teach them. Her cat knows how to sit. Her cat knows how to stay. Her cat knows when to come when called.
I wanted to get a helper monkey at one point and teach it how to make waffles.
Sorry, man. I wouldn't trust a monkey to make waffles. That would be that would be.
I told Burnside we're getting a Chihuahua, and he was like, "I hate Chihuahuas and I hate Dachshunds." I was like, "Then you're gonna love this one because it's both and it breeds out both bad." I've owned 2 Chihuahuas and loved both of them to death, and they were great dogs.
Designer mutts.
Hey, they cost about, but it's worth it.
When Patches finally goes many years from now, I told my wife, I said, we're never going to be able to get another dog. And she said, well, what do you think we're going to do? And I told her flat out, I said, I want to adopt a bonobo. And a bonobo is a smaller version of a chimpanzee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to adopt one of them. Just because why not?
No. If anything, if Burnside is adamant against Chihuahuas or rat terriers, I'm gonna look at him. Okay, well, then I guess I'm just gonna have to get me some fucking ferrets.
Nothing wrong with a few carpet sharks.
Because I gotta have myself some Kodo and Podo.
Also known
a friend
as
of mine actually got ferrets and named them Kodo and Podo.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
And the last one I had, I named Shippo.
I wanted an orangutan. Sorry.
Why? You want to be like what's his name in Every Which Way But Loose?
Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Left turn, Clyde.
The flipping waffle shit.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted, ever since I saw Cannonball Run 2 with Tony Danza and his cousin rolling around in that friggin' limousine with the orangutan driving dressed up like a chauffeur, I wanted an orangutan.
When I was at the Birmingham Zoo, they had some orangutans. I got video of that. I'll give you the link to the video. It's not the greatest, but
yeah, they got a big monkey island there, and then of course they've got the gorilla.
That's right. Prostate lives over there. He knows what I'm talking about.
I've been there. I've been there a bunch of times, man.
We only saw like a quarter of the zoo. The rest of it was closed off for like building up.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I need to go see the new polar bear enclosure at the Oregon Zoo because they just got finished remodeling the polar bears and the penguins.
I don't want to incite anything here, but if you guys are going to be going to the zoo, and you go into the monkey houses, I'm not saying I know this from experience, but it may be something that I'm just privy to. From what I understand, monkeys and gibbons and lemurs, specifically the lower primates, they have a real problem with kazoos. And if you go there and you play a kazoo at them, they tend to really, really go nuts. So
Okay, good.
Sir, you have offended me.
The city college here, or not city college, but the community college, Santa Fe College, they have their own zoo. It's for rehabilitating animals. As a matter of fact, I have a video of an eagle in transport to being taken to UF veterinary clinic and is most likely going to be rehabilitated at this zoo. Burnside's going to work on all my videos for me. You're going to love this video, Scooby.
I definitely want to see it.
So you're walking around the college, going to your classes, and all of a sudden, you hear, it's the fucking monkeys calling out to you, and if you holler back, they will get louder. One time, I purposely went over to the parking lot and just started calling back, and all of them, because it starts with one, and if you call back, all of them will respond.
And you realize that's a language. Do what? That's an actual language, and I'm always suggesting that's a language that they're speaking. Those monkeys, when they do that howling. You can watch, you can look up documentaries on that on YouTube. The reason I say this is you can watch and they'll show you the different howls that they do, and you can howl certain shit at them where they'll get like lunatics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
You go to the zoo and get permission from the college itself, as well as the head of the zoo, to get video and post it on YouTube.
When you do that, Tara, you're essentially saying, "I fart in your general direction." Your father was a hamster, and your mother smelled of elderberries.
Now go away.
They're nothing but connects.
When you see the baboons, one of the things you're supposed to, well, you're not supposed to do it. This is actually what you're not supposed to do. But one of the things that you should do is you curl up your upper lip to expose your teeth and gums and open your eyes as wide as you can and your mouth as wide as you can when you look at them. And that's basically the same as dropping your pants and waving your genitalia at them. They don't particularly care for that. Yeah. You make that face at a baboon and watch. You'll see the whole troop come running at the fence top speed. We used to do that. It was kind of fun. It was kind of fucked up when we were on the class field trips, because I went to the school for like the kids, the juvenile detention school, basically.
Yeah.
So we were the bad kids. So we would go on the field trips to the Bronx Zoo, and it was great because we'd be walking behind like all the grade schoolers, and they'd be at the monkey house, and we're like ahead over them because we're in high school. So we'd make that face at the monkeys as we were going past, and they'd run top speed at the fence. And I love watching those WASP teachers, like, with the ones with the dresses and the pearls and like the fucking the big glasses. Oh my God, they would freak out. Oh my God, the monkeys! They're not going to get out of the fence, they charge at it. But it was great because you got 50, 60 of these baboons coming top speed at the fence with those, they got the fangs that look like bananas, so it scares the shit out of people.
Also, there is a wild cat sanctuary not far from here, and once a year they do a fundraiser. I'll talk to my aunt about us going to that, and I'll film that again. I filmed half of it, and I missed feeding the lions and the tigers.
Oh shit!
Nah, I don't screw with the cats. Yeah, monkeys
them.
is one thing. Yeah, monkeys you can actually outsmart. The cats, they're all instinct. I'm not going to try to do that.
Actually, reminds me. I need to go out to the big cat sanctuary here in Oregon and go pet the ocelots.
Oh.
They
Cool.
had some warthogs there that were so sweet. They kept coming up to the fence, and because they could get their nose through the fence because they kept their tusks shortened, and they'd nudge you, and the fences were low enough that you could reach down and pet the warthogs, and they were just so sweet, stinky but sweet.
Of course, they were stinky. They're warthogs.
I got a great story about the Birmingham Zoo. I was at art class. I think it was second year drawing, and or drawing to, and so we were assigned to go to the zoo and just hang out all day long. You know, we're supposed to get there at 8 and have lunch there, and then, you know, and then leave about 4:30, 5. So, and I went to the there's this like enclosure that houses a gorilla, right? And the gorilla just like, I mean, the dude was like really pissed off or something was wrong with him, man. He was depressed or something. He was sitting in the very back, right? And just looking, just like eat like heads of lettuce and shit, and then throw it up and then eat that, you know? And I sat in the back just kind of where I could see him and just kept drawing him over and over again. Then I would notice that when these little kids, these little groups of children from the, from on field trips from school would go up, he would kind of perk up a little bit, right? And then he would still do his thing, and all the kids would be gathered in front of him, looking at him and shit. And then all of a sudden, man, he would look up and then just haul ass towards it was a plexiglass window, right? And he would beat on the glass like boom, 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 boom. And it would scare the shit out of all those kids, man. They would scream and run out, right? And I figured, dude, this thing was a thing for this guy, man. And so I sat there, and the third time he did it, he looked at me. Like, isn't this cool? You know, I can't explain it, man, but it was like funny as shit, man. He made me laugh. That was great. Thanks for helping me remember that. It's just stupid shit like that, you just forget. And thanks.
Yeah, but it's stupid shit like that makes life great.
Yeah, man. They're great. That was great.
Speaking of gorillas, so Tara, you kind of missed out because tomorrow we reread no Florida Man stories. Yeah, you skipped the wrong day. Let's see.
Fuck you, Colleen.
Yesterday it was funny. It was all Yankee stories.
Yeah, Tennessee would have liked that.
Yeah, she
one.
would do it one of the days I'm not here.
All right. Yeah, this guy looks like a gorilla. Anyway, a man got stabbed in the thigh, but the suspect says he was just knifing open a beer.
Knifing open a beer.
I've done it.
Like pop tabs and bottle caps are not sufficient methods for opening.
Of course not. You were also supposed to stab a screwdriver through the side, stick your mouth to the hole, open the top, and chug.
That's right.
That's called shotgunning.
That's shotgunning. Yeah, shotgun a bear.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of people that have used like buck knives or folding knives to open a beer that like is not a twist off. Like if they don't have a bottle opener. Yeah. That's usually a way you can tell if somebody's a ranger. Is like that's an old ranger's trick. Using the buck knife to open a non-twist.
Yeah. See, a marathon man says he was stabbed with a fillet knife by an acquaintance for no reason. Guillermo Herrera Olvia, 46, of Marathon, was booked Sunday on felony aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and hauled off to the Stock Island jail, where he remained Monday without bond. He is accused of stabbing Ainel Torna Morales, 34, in the thigh with a Dexter knife while drinking at a friend's home at 3918 Louisa Street.
What the heck is a Dexter knife?
Interesting.
I've got Tantos, I've got K-bars, I've got some bucks, I've got fillet knives, I've got skinners, I've got trappers, I've got all sorts of knives.
When you said marathon man, I was wondering if the guy was going to say, "Is it safe?"
Yeah.
Is it safe?
Oh boy.
That looks all right. Dexter knife is just your it's one of those big butcher knives like you see the murderer always pick up in the kitchen. It's one of those big motherfuckers.
And it's what Dexter uses a lot in the TV series. Dexter.
Okay. Now I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. It took several stitches to close the wound on Morales's right thigh, according to the arrest report by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Morales told deputies he was drinking beer with several friends when he went into the house to grab another one and use the restroom. Gerardo Ovilla followed him into the kitchen, and when the two men stood face to face, Gerardo Ovilla armed himself with a fillet knife and stabbed Morales, police said. The two then ended up back outside where several friends were still congregated, where the altercation was broken up, according to the arrest report. Morales advised that there was no argument or fight. He was just stabbed. I see. A drunken Gerardo Ovilla turned himself into police about 2 hours later, telling deputies that during an argument with Morales, he used a fillet knife to open a beer, and Morales got stabbed. Yeah. According to the report, Gerardo Ovilla told several accounts of what had happened, police said. So didn't really get his story straight, and the story that he went with was kind of idiotic. I was opening a beer, and all of a sudden, there was a leg. Imagine that.
Okay.
All of a sudden. And this guy looks like he's a, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that. That's like the two hillbillies arguing over whether or not a ballistics vest is designed to stop a knife or a bullet round, and they shoot and stab each other respectively.
Yep.
That's just dumb.
Well, you know what else is dumb? Let's see. Jurors are sick of hearing about prison guards' huge, stinky penis.
The fuck?
Yeah. Jurors in a Brooklyn correction officer's sex assault trial appear to be sick of hearing about his huge, stinky penis.
I heard about this.
Yeah, the jurors were visibly glum and in some cases exasperated Wednesday as prosecutors continued a second day of grilling accusers on the shape and odor of Lieutenant Eugenio Perez's phallus, which the feds say is so distinctive it helped them confirm the women's stories. It was so big, I wanted to throw up, a 50-year-old former inmate testified through a translator while explaining how Perez forced her to perform oral sex on him while he was working at the Metropolitan Detention Center in 2016. It had a smell like he didn't wash or take a shower. It was a really strong smell. A look of disgust came over one female juror's face, and she shook her head. But the prosecutors continued to quiz the woman about his putrid pecker in painstaking detail. Can you describe what Lieutenant Perez's penis looked like? Assistant U.S. Attorney Nadia Shihada asked later on. It's big, fat. The woman dubbed Jane Doe 3 in the trial responded. The juror then appeared to reach the end of her tether, pinching the bridge of her nose, rolling her eyes, and placing her forehead on the other hand. But Shihada went on, asking Jane Doe if she noticed anything about his penis skin when he masturbated. Wow. When it moved forward, there was a little piece hanging off, she responded.
What the fuck?
Yeah. In court papers, prosecutors say that 3 of Perez's 5 accusers gave matching descriptions of his unusual member, and they were able to get firsthand confirmation via a sketch warrant ordering to drop his pants.
Oh my God. I'm already nauseous.
Yeah. On the first day of the trial, another alleged victim was also asked to describe the distinctive appendage. He wasn't circumcised. It was big, and it was like a hook. It was humongous, and it curved, the 38-year-old told the court. If it didn't stink, I would have been all over that shit. Wow. And that shall ever go down in Chaos 120 history as the stinky penis story.
Right up there with Sex Truck.
Sex truck. The stink came from probably where he was putting it.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
He must have been putting it in the wrong fucking holes or into a pile of something.
Touche.
Or maybe he was using mayonnaise to masturbate. That'll make something stink.
I'm not going to try to justify this guy's actions at all, but it might have. But there is a caveat to this. What were these women, these specific women, accused of that they're in jail for? There might be something to this. Like, if let's say these were all women who just happened to be in jail because they were like, molesting little boys or something, or torturing animals or something else like that, there might be a reason that this guy was going around doing this to these broads, is my point. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Not that it's justifying it, but I mean, it'll shine a light on it. Like, oh, okay, they're scumbags. You know, he specifically targeted them because they went extra. They're in, you know, if you're in jail and they can sort you out from the other people, where the inmates can say, "Oh, that girl, yeah, she's a piece of shit," and he targeted those specific ones, it would make a little bit more sense, is what I'm saying.
Or they could have just been really
hot. Or they could have just been hot.
I don't know. Sometimes they just do it. My ex, he was engaged to a girl. They both worked at the same prison, different wards.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up, quote unquote, falling in love with an inmate, and she got caught having sex with him in the bathroom.
Right, but this guy just, you know, he was taking
was
his huge hog and stuffing it down their throats. I'm saying there might have been something specific that he, you know, there might have been a reason he was doing this, sexually assaulting these specific women. You know, because that's my whole point. Like, I'm just curious. I would like to see what their case files entail. Like, what were they in for? That's the thing I'm curious about. As a journalist, that's the first thing I'd ask.
Not just that, but I would also want to know, you know, do they all have a common theme to their to their sentencing? Are they all associated with each other? You know,
right. I'm saying.
Well, you're evidently a better journalist than the one that actually wrote the article. So
I mean, because you know, if all three of these women are in the same cell block and they're right next to each other, or they share cells, and they don't like the way this guard has been treating them, could it be that they're all creating these accusations to try to force him out of the system? I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons this could be coming to light. We've seen this stuff like in Oklahoma and in Kansas, where police officers have been accused of sexually assaulting women on the road during traffic stops. And a lot of the
we have those issues here too.
A lot of the accusers are like prostitutes or drug addicts.
Right.
Yeah.
And look at it going away on 3 strikes.
Well, I was looking at it as, you know, there is that aspect, like you're saying, which is another one that has to be considered also, is how much validity is there to these accusations. But the other thing, on the flip side, my thought was, well, what if it was, like I said, what if it was like some vigilante shit?
It could be as well. I mean, I'm not counting that out. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's
where my mind went.
Questions, man. There's too many questions.
Yeah. Well, there's no question as to why this woman was put in jail. A woman tried to start paper towel holder on fire in Tropicana Field bathroom, police say.
Really?
A bit of a firebug, isn't she? A Clearwater woman was arrested in a bathroom at Tropicana Field Friday after police said she tried to start a paper towel holder on fire. Lisa D. Walker, 50, was arrested on charges of disorderly intoxication and possession of marijuana. The Rays were playing the Toronto Blue Jays Friday night. During the 3rd inning, Walker went to the women's bathroom and attempted to set fire to the paper towel holder using a lighter. Police said there was no permanent.
What else did you fucking use?
2 sticks and some time. Police said there was no permanent damage. Police noted Walker appeared to be intoxicated. They also reported finding a small amount of marijuana in her possession. Yeah, no mystery there. She's a bit of a firebug.
Weed's not going to make you do something that fucking stupid.
Alcohol will.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen some pretty dumb people seriously crossfaded or just stoned out of their gourd.
Yeah. the cross
Okay,
pollination.
they were already previously stupid.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. They're stupid when they're sober too, but you take stupid and you shoot it to the moon. It don't get smarter.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, it's not so much that it's the reefer is causing it. It's just the person has it in them anyway. It's just you've now unlocked the floodgates.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
See,
kind of
man,
like a super
the
soldier serum.
lowering.
Well,
The
you're
lowering
right. It's
of
the
the
potency,
inhibitions.
right? The potency of the weed nowadays is Jesus Christ. I mean, it's like 10 times as strong as the shit I used to get, and I used to get good shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, man? It's like now, it's like goddamn one hit. I'm like, I can't speak English. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
It's
it
kinda like
makes me stupid, man. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I
a super
actually-
soldier serum that
Exactly.
it enhances what's already there. So if somebody's really stupid, it makes a really stupid guy with super strength.
That's cocaine, man.
Hey.
Cocaine does that shit, man.
I never claim just open inhibitions and cause more of whatever's there. I'm
Yep.
just saying, if you're stupid before you toke up, you're going to be even dumber after you high.
Yes.
Now,
Kinda like
mind
the
you,
guy
I have
that,
seen some people stoned out of their gourds do some dumb shit too.
Yeah.
You know what's? I'll
One
just
guy I
let you
know,
know.
he decided to climb on the roof of our apartment.
I usually blaze every stream during the stream. I'm doing it right now, actually. And that's actually, I cannot go and take my test at college unless I'm whacked out of my head.
Yeah.
I just-
That's stay dependent learning is what that's called.
It's not even that. It's because my attention disorders are so severe. I can't I would have to I can't take tranquilizers because the dosage I need would just put me to sleep eventually. So I can't do that shit where you have a 40-minute
Scooby.
window before your faculties leave you.
Scooby,
So,
weed helped my ADD.
yeah.
You know, I didn't know
believe
what
it,
it was,
yeah.
man. But
It
man, I
helps
could
my
always
bipolar.
Yeah.
focus better. And oh, dude, damn, man, I thought I was the only one.
No,
Holy
that's the
shit.
only reason I do. No, I'm not, bro. I'm not a fucking hippie. It's not like I'm sitting here with love beads and bongos and shit. It's just
So you're
You
saying you're
lying
not
sack
Matthew
of shit.
McConaughey?
You were serenading me earlier today.
yeah, I prefer taking this to opiates. I'd rather not take, all these different pills that they're going to try to give me to regulate my brain. I look at it this way. Yeah, I don't care what religion people are, the pagans, the Christians, it's in the Bible. Everything was given to you by God, these plants. This works for me. It works just fine and dandy. I don't need some asshole in a white coat with a fucking BMW outside telling me, you need to take these pills because somebody up in Albany agrees with me. Nah, go fuck your hand. I ain't doing it.
Well, speaking about somebody who probably habitually fucks his hand, let's see. This guy was tripped by. There's this guy that got tripped by this grandfather in Ohio. We're going to read about him. An Ohio police department is thanking a man who helped them catch a fleeing suspect. WNBC reports that a man identified as Bill was in a library with his granddaughter when he heard a gunshot and saw a man with a hand in his waistband running from police. As the man approached, Bill, who uses a cane, he deftly slid his leg backwards and tripped the suspect, enabling the police to arrest him.
That's right.
Yeah. Quote, if I had one opportunity and I had to make a choice if I was going to act or if I was going to be a bystander, let's see. If I had one opportunity and I had to make a choice if I was going to act or if I was going to be a bystander, Bill told Inside Edition. Commander Scott Hyland said Bill may have saved many lives, including the suspects, due to his actions. It scares me to death what may be going through that young man's mind, and I fear he, for a split second, had some ill intentions, the officer said.
If not me, who? If not now, when?
Yeah. Police recovered a pistol and 29 rounds of ammunition after arresting the suspect, who they said has a lengthy arrest record. Well, how's he out walking around free?
Recidivist.
Mm-hmm. Revolving door.
Lack of 3 strikes.
Yep. Ah, interesting. Let's see. Oh, I think we've read this one before.
Which one?
Is it the same guy, or is it another guy that says, man robbed a bank one day after being released?
Yeah, we read that one.
Okay, when this... Oh, yeah, this was posted May 3rd, so I'm going to...
Yeah, that's a bit old.
So we're going to read a different one. Ah, interesting.
Look at my cheeks.
Here's I guess this is Rocket's religious twin brother. Raccoon interrupts Catholic Mass in San Diego.
Hell.
Good raccoon.
Yeah.
Where's Kaz?
It woke Burnside up.
Just getting into work and getting the coffee ready and that, so I was away for a good few minutes.
Yeah, this is I guess Rocket's brother Rascal. A wandering raccoon stole the show during the recent Catholic Mass in California when it was spotted climbing the walls in the church. A parishioner at the University of San Diego captured video during a mass last week of a raccoon pulling attention from the priest delivering his homily. The raccoon elicits laughs from the crowd and eventually the priest as well as it when it makes its way to the ground. The raccoon eventually made its way down the sanctuary through the aisle and someone opened the door for it. There are a lot of raccoons on campus and they're very comfortable with humans. This is what it means when we say we're all welcome to Mass.
Well, praise the Lord, even the little creatures too.
Yeah, he just wanted to do.
Just make sure you don't give him any cat food.
Yeah, or you'll never get rid of him. Let's see.
Oh yeah. Sermons around the clock, man.
Wow.
So let's
guys.
see. What's that?
I'm looking at some news here from a website called The Horn News, and they are claiming that Democrats are going to lose 7 seats in the Senate at the midterm.
Fuck yes.
Good.
I'm hoping they're right, because if that happens, that means a clear majority in the Senate.
Yeah, it means we can get some decent shit done for a change without all the Mao Zedong nonsense.
Well, we don't have
What is it with you and Mao Zedong? Are you in love with this bitch? Do I need to kill a bitch?
He's been dead for a while.
7 seats. Time to Cabbage Patch. Time to Cabbage Patch, baby. Time to Cabbage Patch. 7 seats. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So it kind of makes me want to do the Running Man. I can't really do the Cabbage Patch that well.
Does anybody want to hear the basic rundown of Mao Zedong's history?
Hey, you're the history buff.
He was the leader of the communist takeover of China.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you thought the Holocaust was bad with that 6 million? Multiply that by 4, add 100,000, and then add a squiggle at the end of it because you don't really know due to famines and that how many.
You know,
Yeah,
Burnsides,
well,
I've been seeing estimates of 100 million out of China lately, and those are estimates. Those aren't hard numbers because they can't find all the bodies. I mean, he was having entire towns mass executed.
Well, yeah, and then there was the great leap
the
forward.
bodies.
You know, that's 3 years of starvation.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, you know.
Yeah, his great fuck up forward.
Yeah.
What was that, Tara? You were trying to say something there.
I'm sorry.
I said they moved the headstones, but they didn't move the bodies.
Damn it.
Oh boy.
You know,
Yep.
I kept saying during the election. That's what I kept thinking of when I was watching all these little bastards attack everybody. I called them Bernie's Red Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were actually.
Exactly.
Now they hot ship from Bernie Sanders to Antifa.
I didn't. I'm still a Bernie lover.
Well, at least you're the Red Guard, dear. At least you got the Red Guard.
Let's see. We have.
No, I'm the dick sucker.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I'll be honest about. He did let himself roll over and get co-opted by Hillary and her fucking radical nutbags and shit. And in general,
Did I just hear
Yeah.
Scoobie's head hit the desk?
He's so
No.
what the hell was that?
Well, here's a feel good story, and it's kind of one of those things where you get kind of an idea that maybe the universe is a little more complex than we perhaps would ever give it credit for. Let's see. Boy 13 regains consciousness after parents sign papers to donate his organs.
Damn.
Yep. That boy woke the fuck up and said, ain't gonna happen. So
What you talking about, Willis?
a
Are we
13-year-old
sure
boy.
that he didn't say, wake up and say, turn that fucking beeper off.
He didn't know what a beeper was, Tara. He's a 13-year-old kid. He's never seen a beeper.
Let's see. A
You
13
don't get it. There's a meme about that.
Anyway, a 13-year-old boy who was said to be suffering severe brain injury defied odds when he regained consciousness after his parents had signed papers to donate his organs. Trenton McKinley of Mobile, Alabama, that's your neck of the woods, was hospitalized 2 months ago after a small utility trailer he was in flipped over. I hit the concrete and the trailer landed on top of my head. After that, I don't remember anything, Trenton told Fox 10. Trenton suffered 7 skull fractures from the accident. His parents recalled doctors saying their son would never be normal again. All I saw was a stretcher and his feet hanging out. He was dead a total of 15 minutes, Trenton's mother, Jennifer Reindl, told Fox 10. When he came back, they said he would never be normal again. They told me the oxidation problems would be so bad to his brain that he would be a vegetable even if he made it. Trenton was barely breathing in the days following the crash, Fox reported. His mother ultimately decided to sign papers to donate Trenton's organs that would benefit 5 children who needed transplants. 5 kids needed organs that matched him, Rindle said. It was unfair to keep bringing him back because it was just damaging his organs even more. The day before doctors were going to take Trenton off life support, the 13-year-old began showing signs of brain activity and movement. Trenton began breathing on his own and woke up speaking full sentences in late March, his mother wrote on a Facebook fundraising page. Trenton still has a long road to recovery and suffers nerve pain and daily seizures. He has had 3 brain surgeries and will have another procedure to reconnect the missing piece of his skull. Trenton said he believes he went to heaven before he came back to life. It was an open field walking straight. There's no other explanation but God. There is no other way. Even doctors said it. Well,
It's called your body needed to repair itself, so it went into shutdown mode.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why I ride the fence with doctors. I really do.
There's a reason it's called practicing medicine, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this: I would like to awake in a pizzeria.
I want to awake in Burnsides bed.
I don't want to awake in Burnside's bed. I mean, he's
I
a
don't
cool
blame
guy.
you there, man. I don't blame you there.
Nothing personal.
Nothing personal.
I think
I'd like to awaken Six's kitchen. Seriously, from the way you talk about food, bro. I'm curious to see what's in the fridge.
You'll find some goodies in the fridge.
There's some body parts. Watch out.
Oh boy. Oh, I have a good one. I have a good one. I think we have a Tennessee man story.
Oh, great. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy it, bitch.
Okay. Police, Captain Jack Sparrow arrested after huffing glue, banging head on sidewalk. Oh boy. A Tennessee man was arrested. This has got to be Colleen trying to get, she's trolling Tennessee.
Yeah.
A Tennessee man was arrested after being involved in a bizarre incident with police Wednesday. According to WVLT, several people flagged down an officer in Knoxville to report this odd behavior. Brian Zielinski reportedly refused to stop when approached. Police said he was also talking incoherently and appeared to be under the influence of some type of inhalant.
Ooh.
Officers searched Zielinski and found 2 bottles of super glue and small light bulbs with straws attached. He told investigators that the items were for huffing glue.
Damn.
After he was handcuffed, Zielinski attempted to flee the scene and then asked police officers to kill him as he repeatedly smashed his head against the sidewalk. Zielinski is charged with disorderly conduct, evading arrest, inhale and possession of intoxicants for unlawful purposes, possession of unlawful drug paraphernalia, uses and activities, and resist, stop, arrest, search, according to WVLT. Zielinski was arrested in 2017 on a burglary charge while dressed up as a pirate.
Oh,
Following that arrest, he
sounds like she's trolling me, not Tennessee.
Yeah, I think she's trolling you, both of you guys. Following
She
that
says
arrest,
not intentionally.
Right.
You lie, Colleen. You lie. We know you lie.
Following that arrest, he had claimed to be a member of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang and called himself Captain Jack Sparrow. At the time of his 2017 arrest, he was wearing a pirate hat, a vest, red gloves, and boots.
This guy is great.
Sounds like this guy's turned his brain into Swiss cheese. I wonder if he was doing Freon too.
That must have been having a lot of glue.
If I am not mistaken, I think that cyanoacrylic is like cyanide is used in the process of making that shit.
It is.
Yeah, and isn't that deadly? Isn't it deadly if you like huff enough of that shit?
I would imagine so, yeah.
But the problem is it takes, I mean...
Yeah, probably a lot.
We're talking,
you have to have huge quantities at once to get an OD from it.
Well, looking at this guy's picture, I wouldn't put it past him.
See, one of the things is cyanide. It's one of the ingredients of cyanide is peyote. Basically, like if you get a cactus, you have to scrape off the wax that's on the cactus when you first like break off the piece from the peyote cactus. It's because that's actually like straight up cyanide. So basically, it's I think it's when you put it in the light bulbs. Because if he's using the yellow light bulbs, like the old ones, like the old school ones that they still sell, the yellow ones.
Yeah.
I think if you put the glue in those, the mixture of chemicals, it gives you a reaction that's almost like similar to the cyanide based mescaline in the peyote cactus. It's kind of like making a synthetic mesk, basically, like cheap.
Yeah. See, the problem is, though, is, that's a great theory, Scoob.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you also got the crazy asses that use plastic bags and Freon or, spray paint.
Yeah.
I mean,
Freon, ridiculous, man. That's just, you're just restricting oxygen. That's all that is, man. That's,
a lot of it, from what I remember when I was in school, a lot of the kids who were doing this shit, it's because we were looking through the chemistry books.
Right.
And I hate saying it, DARE is the main reason that these guys figured out how to do this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Right. And those fucking bath salts and shit.
Yeah.
All that shit's because of that. You're damn Skippy.
Yeah.
Drug
Nah,
war has
bath
done
salts were
us
the
no
government
favors.
experimenting with zombies.
You mean Flocka?
The government.
We lost the
Yeah,
program.
$5 insanity. Thank you, Cass. You know exactly
Hey,
what we're talking
Cass.
about.
Good to see you,
Hey,
man.
Cass.
Faggots.
We've
Hey,
been
Cass,
missing you.
what's
We've
happening?
been missing you.
Yeah, we were
You
talking
wanna hear
about.
the furry FNO state.
How you doing, buddy? You doing good?
Oh,
Good
yeah, I'm
to see
doing
you,
fine.
Cass. Bye-bye.
Yeah, we were talking. We were talking about you earlier because we talked about the CBO scores.
Oh,
Did you see that news?
that I don't think I have yet.
Yeah. So April this past April, the U.S. government pulled in $515 billion.
Damn.
Now the surplus of what they pulled in versus what they spent was $218 billion, making it the biggest month of revenue ever for the federal government.
Ha.
Wait, how much did you say they spent? Run that
They
by me?
No,
spent
that's the
they spent $297 billion.
Right.
They took in $515 billion.
With a surplus of over $200 billion.
With a
Holy
surplus of over $200 billion.
Yeah, we're in the black, bro.
Holy fuck.
I just had to check. I'm used to being in the red. So I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. He's
So the
been in
military
what?
actually brought it more than it spent.
Yeah,
He's been in what? 18 months?
yeah. Well, and the tax cuts didn't even go into effect until January. They got signed in last year. They got it authorized. They went into effect January 1. So within 4 months of the tax cuts going into effect, we had a record month.
Wow.
Well,
He's Trump literally Hitler.
you're racist, you're sexist, you're xenophobic, you're Islamophobic. And
He's going to send us into World War III. He's dropping bombs in Syria.
Hey, Cass, what's that phobia where you're worried about a duck masturbating at,
I'm so scared of what a Chinese fat baby in North Korea is going to do to us.
oh, boy. Well, you know, there's
sign some fucking papers. You know what I'm saying, dude?
yeah.
But what I was getting at earlier with this is just proof that Hayek economics works.
Yep.
And so no matter how much the Marxists want Marxist theory to work, we had 8 years of Marxist theory and we had stagnant growth and, it wasn't socialism, but it was Marxist theory in practice.
Wasn't Coolidge the one who initiated Hayek economics, if I recall? Wasn't that his principle?
Coolidge did, but he isn't the only one. Reagan's economic plans were based off Hayek. In fact, the Keynesian models were disproven even under. They were shown as bad after Kennedy left office under Nixon. Even though Nixon was impeached, he had started peeling back all the Keynesian stuff, and the country started just going as he did that.
Yeah.
And Coolidge had done that before, and it ran when he did that, but people weren't paying attention. So it keeps coming back, and it mostly comes back because of recessions.
Yeah.
So we'll go into a recession and everybody's like, oh, Keynes, we prime the pump like Keynes said, and it'll work. All it really does is it debases the currency.
Yeah. Well, there's a woman that, I guess she's used to being in the red because she was busted for calling 911 to get beer.
What the fuck?
Yep. A Florida woman was arrested on Friday after cops said she falsely reported 911 claiming a medical emergency when she was just thirsty. This reminds me of those Muslim guys that go to the hospital because they have blue balls.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to say, if this happened in New
what?
York, I would have guessed it was my sister. But continue.
Yeah. Yeah, these Muslim guys will go to the hospital because they have blue balls.
Yep.
Go to a fucking hooker.
You know, see,
All right, explain this. All right, how does this work? I'm very interested.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Walk me through the process. I've got blue ball.
These Muslim guys, because they live in a very sexually repressed society due to Islam. Is that the word I'm looking for? Islam? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they trot on over to the hospital and they tell the doctor, I'm in distress. I'm in distress. I'm in sexual distress. So that they admit them because they're in sexual distress. Because they have the blue balls. Yeah, they need to stay in the hospital while they still have the urges.
Basically, it's a socially acceptable way of keeping yourself from ravaging women or having homosexual sex.
Here's a question. Are sponge baths involved?
No, I think these guys just these guys just they sit around a couple of days and try to think of nothing but baseball or Richard Nixon.
So, I was going to say, come on, man. Now,
Definitely not good.
So they haven't figured out a way to like force women to give them hand jobs. I mean, during these states.
See,
to spill the seed without fertilizing the womb through that's a no-no.
That's Catholics. That's big with Catholics. I don't know about Muslims, but
it's big with Muslims too.
This actually makes me reminds me of in the 19th century. They used to. This is actually where you get Sibens from. They used to have the precursor to Sibens at these doctors' offices for these women that had like extramarital unnatural urges, and they would go and they'd put this shroud around them and they'd go ride this thing to get rid of it. And then the doctors made a home version for them, and that's where you get dildos from.
Yeah, vibrator. Yeah.
So, what he's talking about, gang, is that it's an apparatus that kind of looks like a saddle with little dingus sticking up. It has a motor in it, and use your imagination.
Yeah.
I want one.
Yeah.
I actually have one on my Adam and Eve wish list.
I'm such a dull person. I want a new tackle box eventually.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with wanting a new tackle box, Scoob. I need a new tackle box myself, but that doesn't make me dumb.
I need a toy box.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Sarah, of course you need a toy box. I just bought a new one.
Yeah, you can get you probably use a tackle box to put toys in.
Wouldn't have enough room.
Believe it or not, the drawers aren't big enough, and my double-headed purple dong is
like
not going to fit in that tackle box.
Yeah, you're gonna need something like a Craftsman,
need a gym bag.
Craftsman shop thing.
Foot Locker.
You can get it. Yeah. You can get an offshore bag. You can get an offshore tackle box. Plano sells them. You just put one in that you don't. I'm serious. Swordfish and tuna lures. That should give you a drawer with about 18 to 24 inch space. So that should do it.
Yeah, but what
I'm just laughing because we're sitting here talking about the type of things we can use to carry sex toys in.
I get where
organization.
I get where you're going, Scoob, but you know what? Plano also sells a military grade Foot Locker.
Well, how big is this thing he's got?
Well, I don't know how big the box she bought is, but I bought a new Foot Locker, which is about the size of, say, a coffee table.
Ooh. Is it military
Wow.
spec, the Foot Locker?
It's a military spec, so it's it's 4 feet long by 2 feet wide by 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep.
Did you shoot me the link in Discord and the direct messages?
I can see if I can pull one up. I actually bought mine through the VA site.
God damn.
Okay.
Because
I need a Foot Locker. That's why.
Yeah, but I know Walmart used to carry them too, and that's what I use for that kind of stuff. I use it for my camping gear and a whole bunch of other stuff too. I've got like 10 or 12 around the house. They're just useful.
So I think Tara has in mind some different camping gear.
Oh, no, he knows.
I know. I know exactly what she's going to be using it for. I get it.
Yeah.
I literally need mine for storage. I have nothing of interest like that. I'm dull.
Colleen, a computer messenger bag is way too small.
Yeah, way too small.
Especially not for my 2 strap-ons, my Peter Rabbit, the cleaner, the lubes. Yeah, no, way too small.
You got one that looks like Captain Marvel?
I think Tara's gonna need something like that.
Voice activated. You yell Shazam.
I think she's gonna need something like an Optimus Prime utility trailer.
Yeah, here you go.
No. That's once I hook up with Burnside.
Let's see. It turns out that Jennifer Sue Roberts' emergency was a need for beer. The 57-year-old called 911 twice, just after 12 noon and just before 4 p.m., claiming she had a medical emergency, according to the Tampa Bay Times. Roberts reportedly appeared intoxicated when paramedics arrived after the second call. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office records seemingly indicate Roberts, who also reportedly goes by Jennifer Sue Sunday, has been accused of numerous times of dialing 911 without an emergency. She's made 28 false calls since February. 28 false calls since February. The St. Petersburg woman was released Saturday on her own recognizance.
I hate
Apparently
St.
she thinks
Petersburg, Tampa area. They're all fucking idiots there, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, apparently the police are not like Pizza Hut. They don't deliver.
How old is this woman?
57.
This might be the onset of some type of wet brain. That all of a sudden she crops up this behavior.
Yep, it could be. She could have finally pickled her mind.
Poor thing.
Ooh, what did I miss?
You missed
Crazy Florida woman.
and talking about ways to carry along sex toys.
Sex trunk.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of guys come in for clocking out for the day, and that's had to go do my regular duties for a good while there.
Yeah.
Sex trunk.
It's having fun with that.
Well,
Tara was
Sis
basically
seems to
telling
think
us
that
her
we're going
plan.
to need, that we're going to, you and I are going to need a Optimus Prime type U-Haul trailer for a sex toy room.
Yeah, Tara was just intimating her plan to us how she was going to dress you like a good guy doll from the Child's Play movies.
Oh, fuck that. I fucking hate Chucky, but I love those movies.
Yeah, Chucky.
Yeah, he was the original supervillain. Fuck all the cape and that. All he needed was a shank.
Well, I found something interesting out about our good friend Weibo. Apparently, she doesn't like diluting her Coca-Cola
With ice, yeah. She got all mad. She got all mad when I recommended she put ice
Yeah.
in a cup.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, me neither.
I try to
I don't
put
do
as
that
little
to any of
ice
my
as
drinks.
possible.
I actually bitch about it at the restaurant if they give me ice. Well, to be fair, also the tap water around here has been making the rats go bald. So,
Well, I think they found the antidote for Rogaine.
Oh,
Long Island tap water.
Hey, Scoob,
Oh, yeah.
I just sent you 2 links for military-sized foot lockers. One's the Plano, one's the Costoga. I'd recommend the Costoga over the Plano, though. But they're about the same price.
let me ask you: does the Plano, that one float?
You'd have to check.
Okay, because I remember their older ones used to float.
I think it does, but you'd have to check. I know the Costoga one doesn't.
Yeah, that was.
Would that be an issue? Because if you're going to use it for like an offshore tackle box, you'd want one that floats.
Oh no, it's not that. It's just because I'm at sea level, and there is a good chance that I'll be underwater.
Yeah,
It does. It happens every few years that I wind up where I got to sit here and watch for sharks. So floating tackle box, floating foot lockers are a little bit easier to corral. Than because nothing gets destroyed then because it's not underwater. They're up above, and I can just net them together. It hasn't flooded that bad here in years, but just in case, if I'm going to do it anyway, I might as well get the ones that float.
Yeah, I double check, but yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you.
I think it was about almost 6 years ago now that it flooded really bad over in Braidwood, Wilmington, and Pontiac. And it was when I was with my my father and them. And I was joking with my dad. I said, "Hey, well, here's the good news. If it does flood, we can actually pull out the longboat." What my father and I, what we were gonna do is we're literally gonna go old country. We're gonna go make a longboat, and in case of flooding, just people, not necessarily just stealing shit, but just go. Oh, now who's the crazy? You get.
You're cutting out there, Burnside.
The boat, go around getting.
The ROM five's got it.
Permit for this? Doing it. Yeah, my father, real fucking with the couple there. He was.
Bro, I gotta get you a fucking VPN thing or something. I gotta get you something so we can actually hear you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Maybe you should go up on the roof.
Rom Emanuel,
No,
he
Because then they're going to think he's going to jump.
But yeah, I'd check out those Planos. They probably float, and if they do, that'll probably be your best choice, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you look, you can see in my in the server the channel I have with all the boat shit in it. I put in the information for this rowboat. You can see it's got a sail on it, and I can mount for a motor.
Yeah.
There's actually a small landing on the side of my house where that thing will fit. I was actually thinking of having like somebody come over here with a cherry picker and throw that thing up on the side of the roof where there's the landing, because I have access to it with a window. Simply because on the off chance it gets that bad where it's flooded, I want to actually have access to this damn thing. That's literally why I was thinking. Yeah, I used to years ago, but somebody in the neighborhood stole it because they found out it was up there. I used to have an aluminum rowboat up on the side of the landing, and you could get, but somebody found out it was up there, and they stole that along with my gutters.
Yeah.
Of course.
They stole your gutters.
Yeah, they stole my gutters and they stole the boat. That's why my new gutters are all PVC, so no one will steal them.
Yeah, because those are useless.
Yeah, that's a big problem we have in this neighborhood. Like, one guy in the neighborhood a few years ago, he put in this really, really nice copper sprinkler system.
And they stripped it out of his yard?
They pulled up with a truck and they hooked the chain up and they dragged it right out the lawn.
Wow.
When they just bury it and you can see the sprinkler system still in the lawn where it was buried, they just went and they dug up a specific spot where they found like a good a good strong portion of it, like in the center, and they wrapped the chain around it and they started yanked it up out the lawn. Not all of it, obviously. You know, there was still pipes and shit left in there, but they pulled up a good spider web of copper and took off.
Wow. Now that's dude.
Well, he had just put it in, and it's one of those things like you put the shit in, okay, it's done, let's go to sleep. It's Sunday night. As soon as the family's asleep, 2, 3 in the morning, they roll up in a pickup truck and they
made off with the fucking pipes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. That's a big thing here.
Sounds like a Florida man story.
When I was a kid, the biggest thing that they used to do around here was you'd go over to the high school and you'd go with a couple of people. You'd have a couple of guys, and you'd want to bring 1 or 2 of what they would call, you'd bring the fat bodies with you. That was the big fat guys. And what the big fat guys would do was you'd get there, you know, again, you'd start working on the air conditioner with the crowbars, and you get the fat guy to go up on top of the thing and start jumping up and down, and you get the air conditioner out of the window doing that, and we would load. They would load them up on either they would have pallet jacks with them, or they would have wheelbarrows, depending, and sometimes they would just take, like, you go to Home Depot or you go to like a Lowe's or whatever, and they would literally just take the trolleys that you would put shit on there. They would just steal those trolleys and they'd take them and they'd load the air conditioners on them. That was a big thing when I was a kid. Yeah.
I like your.
We had.
Oh, go ahead.
Damn, dude, that's some shit. And I thought the craziest thing that went on when I was a kid was fucking knife fighting people over Pokemon cards. Fuck.
Well, this is the thing.
Dude, we knife fought over Pogs.
Pogs.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
I
Mine
remember.
wasn't a knife fight. Mine was slamming a kid's head into a wall.
Do you guys remember Crazy Bones? I actually got into a martial arts fight over talking shit about some kid's Crazy Bones.
I don't know what a Crazy Bones is.
I remember
They're,
Crazy Bones from my nephews.
They're little weird plastic collectible characters that you rolled. They're kind of like a combination of like action figurines that had cards situated to them, and they're also kind of like marbles or die, where like you'd take all these different little goofy things and you'd roll them out. And, you'd use the card form and do battle and blah, blah, blah. They basically tried to mash together some acid trip version of Warhammer and Pokemon together. And use Slug.
Kind of like Monster in My Pocket that they had in the 80s.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that. Except it was more collectible. It wound up being more of a collectible thing than a combat thing. Because,
Hey, Scoob and Burnside. I have a story for you guys.
Okay.
Ooh, more dead bodies.
This is probably something that I think both of you, you don't really need. I'm kind of preaching to the choir here because you both probably know this firsthand.
Oh boy.
All right.
It should be fun.
We have experienced the coldest April in 20 years across the United States. Yep.
Yeah.
The temperatures in the United States, pardon me, were 2.2 degrees below 20th century averages last month, making it the coldest April in 20 years, according to the government analysis released Tuesday.
Yay.
Said overall,
global warming is the most important thing in the world.
yeah, the global warming that cooks the bread for the bread lines.
Yep.
Overall, it was the 9th chilliest April on record in Pennsylvania, and records dating to 1895. Said the National
change.
Center.
It's not global warming; it's climate change. Come on, get with it.
The climate change cooks the bread for the bread lines. In Philadelphia, 21 of the 30 days were cooler than normal, and coincidentally, the official temperature in Philadelphia International Airport also finished 2.2 degrees below the 30-year average, and featured a significant snowfall. Nationally, it was the 13th coldest April in Iowa, Wisconsin, registering their frostiest on record. Generally, overnight minimum temperatures have been creeping upward in recent decades. However, in April, it was the overnight lows driving the departures, the NCEI said. April was also particularly generous with snowfall. The calculated monthly snow cover was the 5th largest in the 52-year data set, according to Rutgers University Snow Lab. Well, no shit. I have an entire video of it snowing here in San Antonio. The center won't be releasing its global surface temperature report until later in the month. That analysis is far more complicated, but we'll go out on a limb and say the rest of the world didn't cool very much in April. Well, I
have a problem with this because I know that the snowpack out at Rainier has not retreated past the base camp line still.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, for the past 10 years, it's been taking longer and longer for that snowpack to retreat because it's supposed to retreat back to the bottom of the pole. And I'm betting you it's not going to clear until July this year.
I read numerous articles. I believe it was 5 years ago. I think I think I just moved to San Antonio, or just before I moved to San Antonio. I started reading a lot of articles from I can't cite them, and I don't remember who wrote them. I can't cite 99% of the shit I've read in the past, but I remember it well enough to know that I read the articles. And essentially what they were indicating is that we may be on the verge of entering what's known as a little ice age.
Yay, I knew it.
Well, the problem with that theory, Six, and I've seen what you're talking about as well, is that we still have glaciers that aren't associated with the ice caps all over the world. So we've technically not left the ice age yet.
Yeah, awesome. He's right. We have a glacier here in New York. It's actually running for governor.
That's good. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting. But yeah,
amazing.
That's funny. That's so damn funny.
Yeah.
Now, I've got something here that will make you guys laugh. This is a Uganda story.
Ooh,
Uganda.
You know the way.
We have very much fun in Uganda.
Well, they do not know the way in this one, apparently. Leopard grabs and eats toddler alive in Uganda National Park.
Yay!
Damn.
Why were they taking toddlers into Uganda National Park?
Oh, shit.
A 2-year-old toddler was attacked and killed by a leopard on Friday at the Mayai Safari Lodge in Uganda's Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Yeah, that's not where you take a 2-year-old.
The boy was following his nanny into the kitchen of the park staff headquarters when he was snatched by the leopard and dragged into the bushes.
Damn. That's fun.
Poor Yana.
Burnside, you wanted more dead bodies. There you go.
There's just some more dead bodies, Burnside. Apparently, the child's mother is one of the game rangers in the park.
Still, you don't take kids to one of those. You don't take little ones. Yeah, you leave them somewhere where they're not next to the leopards.
Come on, y'all. She was a diversity hire. I mean, you know.
Well, this is
But
Uganda.
guys, all cultures are beautiful.
So Uganda is the most diverse country on the planet.
Of course.
If you use the word diversity as a synonym for anyone that isn't lightly
Isn't
colored.
white. Yeah. So apparently the area that the boy was in is not an area that's open to the general public or tourists. And it's normally not allowed for anybody who's not park staff. But because the boy was spending time with his nanny, and his nanny was also worked with the kitchen.
Well,
Gotta
That's
keep
still
an
no
eye on that
excuse.
shit, man.
Yeah.
the kid should not have been anywhere near the leopards.
Well, the kid shouldn't have been in the park
Right.
like that to begin with.
Yeah,
I mean,
should not have been on park grounds.
Yeah, large predatory animals don't distinguish children from food.
Right.
Yep. They just think,
So-
small thing, I can kill it. It is food.
Sometimes
I've
they
been
don't
worried
distinguish
about the
adults
large-
from food.
I'd be worried about the large herbivorous animals stepping on the kid. Never mind the carnivores too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. I
no
mean,
shit.
the freaking hippos and the hippos and the elephants would pose a huge danger for the kid, as well as the giraffes. But you throw in the fact that there's carnivores. Why are you even chancing it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
I mean, it's dangerous enough that you can just, for no reason at all, just, be run over by an elephant or a rhino because they're just like, oh, there's something over there I want to look at. And they get tunnel vision and plow anything out of their way, their own kind included. Small child, yeah, that would be a speed bump.
Yeah, it's like some European tourist that's visiting the Disney in Florida that disregards signs of "Don't fucking swim."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alligator.
Do not wait. No swimming. We were waiting. You were in the fucking water. I'm glad your kid got eaten. At least it fed something smarter than you.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's
Stay out the
I'm not down with kids dying, man, for any reason.
I was fortunate that I had a father who, if I would have ever said something to him about, well, I don't like that because it offends me or it hurts my feelings, he would have smacked me in the face. And I'm glad of that, because he was the type where if I said, well, I don't like that sign there because it says, you shouldn't swim there, he would say to me, oh, you think that they purposefully put that there just to spite you? You're that selfish? You think that it's about you? That sign's there because it's dangerous. You put people in harm's way when you go swimming in there because something happens to you and they got to go rescue you.
Yep.
He would put it to you. He would put it to me straight. That's the reason that you have things like this that happen. You have people bending the rules, taking their kid to the park, and the kid gets eaten. Rules are there not because they're trying to be mean and they're trying to not let you have fun. It's because there's a 500-pound cat in the bushes that's going to eat the child.
Right.
And it's sad to say it.
It wants food.
Yeah. The child, the cat doesn't see the child as anything different than food.
Yeah.
Cats are not, even house cats are not tamed animals. The domestic house cat considers more than 30,000 species prey and hunts for fun. The only reason they don't,
including human feet.
yeah, well, the only reason they don't actively harm humans is because they've got us fooled into taking care of them, which gives them leisure time.
My aunt's vet says it says dogs have masters, cats have staff.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
But
has anybody ever heard the old wives' tale about a cat licking the dry milk around the baby's mouth and suffocating the babies in the crib?
Shit.
We weren't allowed to have cats in my house because my mother's convinced they steal your soul while you sleep.
No, man, that's Irish. That's Irish as fuck, man. Yeah, my family too.
Yeah, no cats and no birds because the birds are harbingers of death and they steal the soul.
You
It's
don't
always
put
a
hats
soul
on the
with
bed
these people.
either.
Yeah.
Right, Scooby?
Yes.
No
Yeah.
hats on the bed.
What?
No hats on the bed and no shoes on the table. Shoes on the table are bad luck.
Yep,
So
yep.
funny. I thought that
What's with the
clip-
hats on the bed?
I have no idea. I don't ask.
It's
when
probably
I
what's
ask
gotten
questions-
many Irishmen killed by jealous husbands.
Like,
Yeah,
no fox,
and I'm
why no
guessing the
fox?
shoes on the
Fox.
table is, you see, when the men die, well, when the people die in the Irish households, I only know because my grandfather's funeral was one of these, and I went to it. They lay them out on the table. So I'm guessing the shoes on the table is because eventually you're going to be laid out on the table. You don't want to rush it. I never asked, and I you know what? Fuck it. I'll ask the old girl tomorrow when I see her. But
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
I'd love to know.
yeah, I'll ask her what the hell is with the shoes on the table, because she'll freak out if she sees shoes on the table. She starts screaming about bad luck.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
Well,
of bad
guys-
luck, before we go into before we go into shilling, I just wanted to thank you, Cass Warfox, for your wonderful posting on Twitter of the very jolly soy boy with the caption, "I had a vasectomy yesterday, and when I woke up, my wife's boyfriend surprised me with this," and he's holding a Nintendo Switch and a copy of the new Zelda game.
Yeah, that was amusing.
I'm about to like this picture, so there you go. There's a like.
Nice.
Awesome.
Okay, explain it to me. I don't get it.
Okay, there's this. Yeah, this guy had his nuts clipped, and when he woke up the next day, his boyfriend surprised him with a Nintendo Switch and a Zelda game.
Okay, I got that, but what's it supposed to infer?
Soy boys are cucks?
Yeah.
In other words, sit here and play the game while I bang your wife. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of you got your nards snipped, so you should be banging the fuck out of your wife. No, you'd rather play fucking video games.
Don't you dare touch my wife, my boyfriend's wife. That's my boyfriend's wife's son.
Anyhow, that was a nice posting, so I liked it. Okay, carry on.
Well, guys, let's go ahead and get the shilling started. Tara, you want to start?
I'm Tara Sin. You can find me on YouTube, IMVU, Facebook, Twitter, WeMe. I have an Etsy store, Tara and Roxy Craft. I have a Patreon and a MakerSupport. While I was fishing, I took a whole bunch of videos. Burnside's going to be my editor because he loves me so much. And he's going to cut some videos together and redo them. I have a video of a bald eagle that was rescued from the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So I'm going to have him take out all the sound and have the Star Spangled Banner playing in the background and have text of the information that I was able to gather. Because I tried to talk to the wildlife fish and game that happened to be there, but he declined to talk. So, what?
No, I was gonna say, can you have him for the scenes where you're fishing? Can you have him edit in some death metal to keep it interesting?
Actually, I didn't do a lot of filming of me actually fishing. I filmed my fishing area. I forgot the first night to film the fish I catch. I filmed one channel cat that I had caught. It's the second night, and that was it. My aunt's gonna send a picture of all the fillets, and that'll be part of the whole thing.
Cool.
I've got pics of some video of some of the area around here. I've got video of the marina where the eagle was found at. I'm still going to give him a shout out, even though the owner, who is from New York, they refused to tell me who it was, so I could have you go and beat him up for me, Scooby. Said I couldn't loiter and I wasn't allowed to interview anybody. So I'm still going to be giving that place a shout out because it's pretty much the only decent marina around.
Cool.
And
Wait a minute.
What?
Sunmax?
The marina's new name is Gateway Marina.
Okay. They're actually their main branch is in my neighborhood. If it's the same one I'm thinking about, we'll talk off stream.
All right. And I've got to talk to Monkey, but hopefully this Sunday at 5 will be a stream with Ranting Monkey.
Nice.
Ooh, cool.
Very cool.
So, Kaz, you got anything you want to show?
Nothing particular. I'm just your typical weird little furry faggot posting memes on Twitter and shit. If you wanna see the weird shit I got, you can follow if you like. I make fun of the SJWs and shit and whatnot, the liberals, and of course
That's
the
good, dude.
California.
I like it.
Yeah. Burnside, you got anything you want to show?
Yes. Depending on how things wind up going, Friday over in, I think we're going to be about in the central part of Ohio, if I remember correctly. We're going to be over at the Empire Theater. The band that I wound up roadieing for, they have a gig over there. I'm hoping maybe, depending on what time we get done, I might want to, if it's close enough to Foster's neck of the woods, maybe I can meet up with him and we can have a couple of beers and shit. If not, that's okay. I might, if the band's cool with it, I might live stream there. It's going to depend on the crowd size though, because the last time I got the stage set up and I was going to start streaming, we got like nobody at the bar. And, the normies were just, staring at us like we were the devil incarnate. They've never heard of us.
Just because you are.
Yeah, compared to them, I'm a fucking saint.
What's the name of the band again?
Witch Cross.
Okay, then.
Cool.
They're Satan.
Who's mass texting you?
I'm not. It's my USB-C cable has come loose and it doesn't like being plugged into things.
I thought you were actually sitting there playing a xylophone.
No.
Yeah, that's about it for now. Hopefully we'll be getting some more stuff done for Backline because I've been caught up with some of the other stuff we're trying to get out of our shoebox we're living in. So yeah, it's been fun. But there's one other thing. I almost did forget this. This might be something special I'll wind up doing. It depends though. I might be in the near future purchasing one Warhammer figurine for Inquisitor to paint up for me while he's live streaming.
Oh, very cool.
I found some really nice Death Corps of Krieg units, and I was just like, "Ooh, shit!" Because I found a deal. I was like, what about this one? What about this one? He's like, yeah, those all are actually pretty well priced and pretty cool looking. And I was like, yes. Paint me my Inquisitor. Paint me my army. And that's about it for now.
Cool, man. Irate?
Boo! Sorry, prostate. I've got a channel here. I do stuff. Tomorrow night, I'll be hosting Chaos 120 at my house. Y'all come. Bring beverages.
It's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be awesome. Let's see. Thursday, I've got something written down. Oh, yeah, I'm doing a review of the movie Anon that dropped on Friday on Netflix with Clive Owen, I'm sorry, and Amanda Seyfried. It was done by the guy that did Gattaca. Very feature kind of film noirish. Really, you might want to check that out. Big Fat Brian.
I think that's on my to watch list.
Yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, you definitely will want to watch it. Friday night's Cream Stream is going to be interesting. I'm dropping my new intro, and we'll be talking with Tom Pinoid and Accelerate, two nice guys that are very unique individuals and just fascinating. So it's they're really fun. Saturday, drinks with friends, of course, with Sir Adamantine. It's try to get out without being either molested or stuck with driving a car. So and then Sunday, nothing. So that's it.
Cool. Scooby?
I'm Scooby331. You guys can follow me here on YouTube. I'm on Minds, Gab.ai, Patreon and PayPal, and I am on Twitter as not Scooby331. This week, let me see. I don't really have too much cooking. I'm probably gonna record a quick video tomorrow at least. I have a few other things in the irons in the fire, and just trying to get my situation squared, and hopefully can start putting up some more content. Only other thing is prostate. When you stream with Tom Pinoid on Friday, tell him that I asked him "Cómo se dice, Kamenuch?" And yeah, that's about it. And yeah,
well, man,
I'm
after your thing, if you want to drop by, just let me know, man. I'm really shitty at looking at the fucking chat. I'm usually looking at 4 different screens at the same time during that broadcast. So get my attention. I'll try to get you in so you guys can at least hang for an hour or so, or when you get out of your thing.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, you still have it. You stream out of your server on Friday. So if anything, I can. Is it still set up? It's still set up where I can just hop in there, right?
Hop on in, bro.
Yeah, I'll just hop in because he hit me up in my server about 2 weeks ago. He's Galabrese and I'm Sicilian, so I just wanted to rap with him for a second.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he's been uploading stuff. Machiavelli. He's been reading the art, not the art of peace. Something about war. The art of war. Yeah, Machiavelli's version. Not the.
So you're talking the primer for princes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that shows how well read I am, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's turned me on to some other dude that's doing the Federalist Papers. So,
you talking Madison or who?
I can't. The official, the ones that we had to read in high school.
Yeah,
it's not John Jay, is it? It's Madison, isn't it? Okay.
Madison did some of them. There were 2 other authors, though.
John Jay.
I'd have to double check. It's been a while since
I can't remember.
Don't ask me that shit. And who else? What's his name? Madison Jefferson. Yeah, Madison, I think it was. Yeah, Madison was the big one. We can talk about this next week, though, because we're getting late. Sorry. Not a problem.
Sorry, guys.
6.
I am the next 6 minutes. I have, of course, my next 6 minutes channel. You must spell out the word 6 if you want to find it, because if you don't, then you won't. I have a live streams channel as well. The next live streams this coming Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm having a birthday stream. All of you are invited to hang out and to shoot the shit and whatnot. And I'm going to try to get a special guest. I'll see if I can get anybody lined up. But spread the word. See if you can get some interest, because I'm going to be trying to not just promote myself, but promote all of us in the Chaos 120 group. So yeah, that's what's going down this Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. It's May 10th is when it's going down.
Cool.
So that's what I got going.
All right, and you all know me. I'm the Veteran Mountain Man. I will have some content up tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. And, of course, I will be trying to make 6's stream on Thursday. It might only be for a little bit of time since I'm working my normal shifts this week. But I'm going to try to hop in and at least say happy birthday to you, man.
All right, thanks.
And Everyone else, have yourselves a nice night.
You
Good night, all.
motherfuckers.
Take care.
Links in the chat.
And into